You have a killer resume, and you beat out 10,000 other candidates. You have fought your way through the filters, the gatekeepers, the ATS, and the recruiters, and you finally got into the interview room. Then, you ruined it in 30 seconds. Because you thought winging it was the same thing as being authentic. Can I be candid? That is some mediocre bullshit. And right now, it's costing you your career. The psychology of failure. Now, why do we do this? Why do smart, talented people, like legit experts, refuse to prepare? I see 3 big reasons, and they're all traps. First, there's this authenticity fallacy. You think, if I script my answers, I'll sound like a robot. Wrong. Without a system, the real you can't show up. The scared you does. You aren't being authentic. You're being passive. You're being reactive. Second, the arrogance of experience. You think, I've shipped 5 AAA titles. My track record speaks for itself. Spoiler, your work stays silent while louder, less qualified people take the lead roles you deserve because they can actually articulate their value. And third, the Cinderella Trap. You're waiting for the studio to discover your heart of gold. And this is the gaming industry, not some Disney movie. They aren't looking for a good person. They are looking for a solution to an expensive problem. And if you aren't positioning yourself as that solution, well, you're just gonna get passed by, right? The 5 ways you are sabotaging your interview. An interview isn't a chat. It's a fight or flight, life and death situation. It's literally a boss battle. If you want to stop being your own worst enemy, you have to stop making these 5 rookie mistakes and replace them with a real system. 1. Bad-mouthing your previous studio. You start venting about your last boss, the toxic culture, or the broken pipelines. And you think you're building rapport for being real. The thing is, to the interviewer, you just look like a problem child. They're thinking, if he is bathing in this salt and negativity right now, what's he gonna say about us when the first sprint goes sideways? And hint, they always go sideways. So instead, use the neutral pivot. Acknowledge the challenge without the emotion. For example, instead of saying, my last manager was a micromanaging nightmare, say, I realized I thrive best in high-trust environments that prioritize autonomy. That's exactly why your studio's culture of ownership resonates with me. 2. Zero prep for the any questions question. When the interview is winding down, they almost always ask, hey, do you have any questions for us? And you say, no, I think we covered it. And you just told them that you're passive, that you don't really care or have any curiosity. My dear sweet summer child, if you don't have questions, they just assume you don't care. So use the consultant's probe. Ask questions that force them to envision you already doing the work. Ask, hey, if we're sitting here 6 months from now and this hire is considered a massive success, what specific fire did I help the team put out? 3. Not playing the damn game. You're interviewing at a studio and you haven't touched their latest build? You might be thinking, hey, systems are systems. And your experience transcends product. And in doing this, you have already failed. You're walking into a raid without reading the latest patch notes on the boss himself or herself. And if you don't know their game, their strategy, their weak points, you're destined to lose out. So perform a teardown analysis. Say, I spent 10 hours in your latest seasonal update. I noticed a friction point in the UI that probably impacts retention. I'd love to hear how the team balances that with player onboarding. 4. The second screen sneak. I see your eyes moving. I see the reflection of your phone or your Slack pings in your glasses. In a remote world, this eye drift reads as distracted, disinterested, or worse, cheating. And they may already be failing you in the interview because they feel that you are not present. Use an analog anchor. Tape your notes or post-it notes directly by the camera lens on your computer. This will help make sure your eye line never breaks. Treat that little glass lens as the interview's actual eyes. Lean in when you're making a point. Presence here is a survival skill, right? 5. Forgetting the last hit. The call ends. You close the laptop and wait for them to discover how great you were. And so you left that last hit off of the table. A thank you note isn't just about being polite. It's a strategic follow-up. So within 24 hours of the interview, send a note. Thanks for the chat. Regarding our discussion on engine migration, I actually found a postmortem on a similar shift from GDC that might be relevant. Thought you'd find it useful. Systems over vibes. Most of you don't need to be better at your craft. You're already good. You're probably amazing. But you just lack a system. Practice doesn't destroy your authenticity. It builds the framework so the real you can actually show up without imposter syndrome taking the wheel. It makes you sound natural. And if you don't prepare, you're telling the interviewer you do not value their time. If you aren't doing the hard work of preparing for these critical 1-hour meetings, you're choosing to stay invisible. You're choosing to let people with half your skill, but twice your visibility, land these leadership roles. You know what has to change. If you want a system, not just a goal, but a system to turn from an overlooked invisible expert to an in-demand authority, then let's talk. And otherwise, just stop winging it. You're better than that. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. It means a lot to me, and if you're looking for more actionable advice on how to get ahead in the gaming industry, please like, subscribe, comment, join my mailing list, whatever you think is appropriate, and I will see you in the next video, okay?